Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is day 6, and we're going to learn the environment for success habits of billionaires. Enjoy.
People don't always like you, and they're not always happy for you. And if you surround yourself with people who are not accustomed to your success, they become fearful, they become scared, because you are reflecting back something to them that they don't recognize. Now, they're not going to say, I'm very fearful, because you're reflecting back to me something I don't recognize. They're going to say, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, who she thinks she is. Who she thinks she is. That only happens when you are around people who do not mean and want and aspire to the best for you. People who want the best for you want you to be your best. So my greatest advice to you is to surround yourself with people who are going to fill your cup until your cup runneth over. So when people say you're so full of yourself, you can say, yeah. Yes, I'm full. I'm so full, my cup runneth over. And to know that once your cup runneth over, you cannot spend your life with your gallon-size offerings, offering them to pint-sized people. You have got to surround yourself with gallon-sized people who can hang in the same company with you, so that you're not offering your gallons to those little pints out there who can't hold it anyway.
You need a team around you to deliver a lot of ideas. How do you choose your team? Based on what?
Well, I suppose honestly that it tends to be gut feel more than anything else. So when I interview somebody, my interview question is always the same.
What do you ask?
I said, tell me the story of your life and the decisions that you made along the way and why you made them. And then, and also tell me about some of the most difficult problems you worked on and how you solved them. And that question, I think, is very important, because the people that really solve the problem, they know exactly how they solved it. They know the little details. And the people that pretended to solve the problem, they can maybe go one level and then they get stuck.
Elon, you've been compared to Henry Ford, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs. Who do you compare yourself to?
I don't really compare myself to anyone. It's not. There's certain people that I admire from history that I think are great. Certainly many of the scientists and engineers and literary figures and so forth. I'm a big fan of Ben Franklin. Who's a scientist and sort of thinker, and he was the kind of guy who did what needed to be done. So. Guys like that,
Right.
Wouldn't say I compare myself in any way, but I certainly admire them.
We all get gifts. We get certain things in our life that are that we're very lucky about. And one of the most powerful one is who your early role models are. They could be your
was your
parents.
grandfather.
It was, in a big sense. My mom and dad, but my grandfather too. And my mom had me when she was 17 years old, and she was still in high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And this is in 1964. I can assure you that being a pregnant teenager in high school was not cool in Albuquerque, New Mexico at that time. And so it was difficult for her. My grandfather went to bat for her when they tried to kick her out of school, and they're incredible. So the gift I had is I had this incredible family.
You will move in the direction of the people that you associate with. So it's important to associate with people that are better than yourself, and actually the most important decision many of you make, not all of you, will be the spouse you choose. Right. And you want to associate with people who are the kind of person you'd like to be. You'll move in that direction, and the most important person by far in that respect is your spouse. I can't overemphasize how important that is, and you're right. The friends you have, they will form you as you go through life, and make some good friends, keep them for the rest of your life, but have them be people that you admire as well as like them.
I was very lucky in life. If you tell me who your heroes are, I will make a pretty good prediction about what you're going to do. And I had the right heroes. I was very lucky in life, and my heroes never let me down, and started with my dad, and then I had others in business. And so I have had great teachers, some formal teachers, some that were just informal teachers by instinct or example. And if I hadn't had those, my life, I'm sure, would have been very different.
I always believe I love I love that thing of collaborating. You taking the best of what you do, and someone taking the best of what you do, and you not robbing from what they do, and they're not robbing from what you do, and y'all bring the best of what you are to the table, and you put it in this mix, and you see what happens. I love that part of creating. So there'll definitely be, because I don't believe in those lines that people put up for music. This is for this person, this is for that people. This is rock, this is blues. I just believe good music, bad music, and, put those two elements in the room and, see what happens. Let the, God, the universe, the movement, whatever happens in that room tonight, wine, whatever happens, make great music.
There's no doubt that creating a board, having people like Dave Marquardt there who wasn't at the company, and we were so overwrought about, this is right, this is wrong, we messed this up, that having people have a little bit of distance come in and talk to us is good. For the last 30 years or so, I've gotten to be friends with Warren Buffett, and he's in Omaha. He's not in this tech world at all, and to him it's like, hey, how could you ever know which will rise and which will fall? I'm not going to put money until Apple sold at a multiple of 12. Then he decided he could put $50 billion into that. After he asked all his friends, hey, if somebody had an iPhone that was half as expensive, would you switch away? Or is it more like jewelry where you really want to have an iPhone? And so he decided that those profit streams might not be eliminated anytime soon. Anyway, because he's not in this world, he has a definite way of looking at things, including this idea of how work should be fun. He has made his work so much fun that he works more hours than I do. He works 6 days a week at 88 years old. And he likes to say that he skips to work every day. He doesn't, but he says that.
It's a good visual.
When he was 83, he could still skip, but now he's gotten really, he can't do it. Having somebody like that, the toughest thing I went through was this antitrust lawsuit where, it didn't seem very predictable. And he was a great counsel during all of that stuff. So getting somebody who's successful in another domain, but yet kind of a business type mindset. Anyway, for me, that was a huge gift. I do think that if you want to talk about software innovation, that at least listening to the ideas of people who've been successful in that area isn't such a bad thing. I mean, you literally say that we can't talk to politicians if you really think that sharing our opinions about, say, climate change or malaria or malnutrition or charter schools, if that's really bad, this group does have more free time. They have proven that they're energetic, can solve some things, and often they get into a phase of their life, like Steve Schwartzman is putting a lot of his energy and thought into very creative, and I think what will be positively impactful philanthropy.
There are probably a lot of people who can run Microsoft and do a reasonable job. When I was growing up, Bill Gates was my hero.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
He's like Darth Vader. He's not Luke Skywalker.
No.
He's the bad guy.
No, he is not. Bill Gates ran one of the most mission-driven companies that I can think of, right? And right now I think Microsoft, their mission is less focused than it used to be. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to be when I grew up, Microsoft I thought had a great mission. Put a computer on every desktop and in every office, right? Or maybe it was every desktop in every home. There are companies that define themselves by a way of doing things, right? I mean, there's like the HP way that I was talking about, and there are companies that define themselves by making a concrete change in the world. And Microsoft did that, and I have a huge amount of respect for him for doing that. And he pushed them, and it was an incredibly inspiring company during the time that he was doing that. I think that they still are doing a lot of things, but I think that they've lost some of the focus. And I don't know. I mean, I think he's like one of the greatest visionaries that our industry has ever had.
I always I get a little upset whenever any media attention focuses on me personally and me leading Facebook. Much less a movie.
It's been kind of a bad year, hasn't it?
It turned out okay.
Time, Academy.
It turned out good. The Time thing was awesome. That was really flattering. But I think that it's one of these things that the media systematically gets wrong, is that this idea that it's a person, right? It's never a person, right? It's always a team. And the most important thing if you are an entrepreneur trying to build something is you need to build a really good team. And that's what I spend a lot of my time on, right? I mean, I spend probably at least 3 hours a day with our core team, right, and doing things. I spend probably 25% of my time recruiting, finding good people, both outside the company and inside the company to put in more impactful roles.
I'm Sergey Brin. I'm from Google, and prior to that, I was a PhD student at Stanford. Larry and I first met when he came to visit during the PhD recruitment weekend, which was, he started a couple years after I did. And we became good friends when he actually agreed to join and came on board. And we experimented with a variety of things. We had some shared interests, and Larry had this crazy idea that he was going to download all the links on the web and then do something with them. It wasn't entirely clear what. We did find that there were great applications, and one of them was search, which eventually became Google.
Co-founders are super important for building a company, and you guys are doing great for 15 years. Have you sort of fundamentally disagreed on something at all over the last 15 years, and how did you resolve?
Where do I start? No.
I think if you get to know somebody over a long period of time, we're working together for so long, and we're committed to doing that. You don't get agitated about one little thing or the other. I don't know. We work it through, and also generally we've gotten to think remarkably alike, which scares some people around us, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing, we know enough, I guess, that when we're disagreeing, you make a lot of calls that aren't obvious. So, if you're disagreeing, it's probably that it's not obvious what to do.
Is part of the interviewing process, do you have essentially a culture check?
Yes, but not like a checklist. Culture is always something that we interview for, of kind of curiosity. And it's easy to find people who say, oh, I read the Netflix culture deck. I love it. I really want to be there. What's harder is, well, what are the main things you disagree with and why? And when we get a blank stare, we're like, okay, not really a first principle thinker. And when they say, well, I thought the way that you didn't talk about how to acculturate, and if I'm not great on day 3, am I out? Or is there, do you look at it like an athlete where it's over some time period to prove yourself? And if so, what's that time period, and why haven't you clarified that? Then we're like, oh yeah, that's a good insight. First principle thinker. So we're looking for people who, are curious, typically self-confident. And they're not, they're questioning everything around them.
If you're going to politics, you should go to DC. If you go into finance, New York. Movies, probably still LA. Yeah. And tech is Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley has an aspect that's very open, very fluid, and it helps tremendously on these cutting edge ideas. You want to be in the place where you can talk to as many people as possible about your ideas, because that's the way you will know that they're cutting edge and you will improve them even more.
I made the mistake in my life of studying people that appeared to be successful.
A lot of people are like that.
They appeared to be successful. Today in the times that we live in, you can go on Instagram and it looks like everybody owns a Ferrari, everybody has a Rolls Royce, everybody looks like they're having the best day of their life. That's not studying, that's watching. I want to study people. Or even at conferences, you can go to a conference and watch somebody on stage, and he or she could present it like they're so successful. But if you really get behind the scenes, you'll find out there is no success there. It's just a lot of talking. And so I would just strongly suggest to people to pick a handful of people and make sure those people are actually doing, not just saying. That they're not talking about success. They're actually doing success every day.
And how would you know if they're doing?
Well, you would see it in their statistics, right? Like there's some things you can't fake.
Yeah.
You can't fake somebody. We're buying $250 million worth of real estate this month with my money. Hard to fake that. Okay, it's a great Instagram post, by the way, but you can't fake it. There's going to be a loan. There's going to be a building. There's going to be acres and acres of land. There's going to be people living there. Like you just can't fake it. So there's a lot of things you can fake. You can make a nice little quote, put it on Instagram. People look at it like that's the truth, And the public is confused with a lot of what appears to be the truth that's not.
True.
And so I would just tell people, study people that have success, that are doing it now. Also, the second thing I would say is make sure that where you're getting your advice from them lines up with where you need advice, right? So Warren Buffett, he's at the tail. He's at the tail of his. He's probably here, right? So here he was doing different things than he's doing here. He talks about investing in stocks, but he actually doesn't do it. He doesn't buy stocks. He buys companies.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to people. Steve Jobs right here was one of the most aggressive business people that this planet's ever seen. I mean, he was barbarian aggressive. So was Bill Gates. But if you talk to Bill Gates today, Bill and Steve's not alive obviously, but Bill Gates today saying, dude, I'm giving all my money away. Money doesn't matter. That's not what he was saying right here.
25 years ago, I had 3 friends. My life has not always been this. I had 3 friends. One was a drug dealer. One was my girlfriend who didn't love me. She loved the drug dealer more than she loved me. She loved the drugs. She's still on drugs today. And my third friend couldn't be a friend to himself, much less to me. I had 3 friends in my entire life. I was the black sheep of my family, 5 kids. Everybody in my household was worried about Grant. Everybody, my 2 sisters, my brother, my mother, were convinced I would end up in prison or I would end up dead. I should not be here today.
So at 25, I recommitted to my education, but this time I started studying not things that were in books, but people that had actually created wealth. Not people that had made money, but people that had created wealth. This is completely different. I was no longer studying accounting and economics. I was studying wealthy people, and only wealthy people. I'm not talking about the doctor that was a neighbor that makes $1 million a year and he's working 18 hours a day and he hates his job. Right? He's working 7 days a week. He can't ever spend time with his family. I'm talking about the yacht people. I'm talking about the people that are spending as much time as they want on vacation. I'm talking about the car dealer that had 28 car dealerships or 82 car dealerships that has indisposable money. And I quickly realized something, that the wealthy people had financial freedom and no one else did. Okay? A very small percentage of people. Lots of people have money. My uncle had millions of dollars. He was terrified about his money, wouldn't spend it, acted like a miser, buried money in the backyard. I realized my parents had it wrong. The information I had that was wrong. I started comparing the wealthy people to what my dad did. My dad worked every day of the week. If he wasn't working at the office, he was working in the yard. They saved money. They cut their own grass, okay? We ate all our food. We turned the lights off. We didn't waste anything. And that was uncertainty, it was insecurity, and it was fear. And it perpetuated uncertainty, insecurity, and fear. And all the lessons about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. A penny saved is a penny earned. Eat all your food. People are starving, okay? Money, you don't waste it, don't play with it. All that creates insecurity, and it's incorrect.
I'm 19 years old and I run a consulting firm, and right now I listen to all your real estate stuff, and I have only about 60 grand for what I've done saved up.
Yeah.
And do you think I need to still wait till 100 grand to invest in real estate, or is that too little?
How long you had 60 grand?
For just like 12 months now.
Yeah, dude. Like, you got to get the other 40, bro. It's an arbitrary number. I just made up the number. It could be 110. It could be, dude. It's just so you know. First of all, when you get to 100, call me. And I'm gonna probably tell you, hey man, you need to wait till you got 350. But at least then you're gonna be like, you know what? I learned how to not just make 100, save 100, and put 100 away. People are investing too soon. You guys are investing 3 grand here, 2 grand over here, $1,000, 500. You're walking away from it. It's never worth any money. It's dumb. And you never create the discipline. What you end up with is a bunch of losses, a bunch of little losses, rather than knowing I have the confidence that I can make money, set it aside, protect it, right? Protect it like a kid, right? It's not going to get in a wreck. I don't lose it. I would do that first.
So is there an age?
I didn't invest, my first investment was $5,000 and I blew it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again. My next investment's going to be big, where I'm going to watch it. Because if it's big enough, dude, if your life depends on it, you'll get up in the mornings and you'll watch it. So my next deal was 350 grand. It took 3 years to do it. All I did was save money, save money, save money. I put 350 grand in the deal, sold that deal for $4 million, a $4 million profit.
Put every last penny you had?
I had 1/3 of all my money in that deal. I had $1 million, like $1.1 million. Put 350 in my first deal. 30 days later, put 450 in a second deal. 90 days later, put all the rest of my capital, 100% of all my money, plus 90 grand in 3 real estate deals. Those are the first 3 investments I ever made. The first 3 or 4 investments I made in my entire life.
One of them worked out?
3 of the 4 did. The little one didn't. The little one couldn't work. It's impossible to work. It was too small. What's it going to do? It's not going to do anything. It's like going into a casino and you bet $15. Right? You get blackjack. So what? It's still $15. The first thing you're going to say is, dude, I should have bet everything. But you didn't. You shouldn't even be in there.
I'm in San Fran, Stockton and Pine, right behind me. Just walked out of my hotel to get a sense of the city. You know, I don't think people get out enough. The best things that have happened to me in my life was when I left my room, my house, even the city that I lived in. And I think we stay home too much. You know, here I am. I'm beautiful San Francisco, man. You get out. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to go out. It's probably cold out there. Look, not even anybody out here. An amazing, beautiful city. Beautiful city. Some parts of it are beautiful. And some parts of it are ragged out. Urine in the street. Homeless people. Can't find a place to live. It's so expensive to live here. They can't have a house. And then there's beautiful parts of it. And so that goes with every city, right? Every place. But the wonderful thing is that I get to make a choice whether I find the beauty here or the problems here. And then I get to be part of the solution or just disregard everything. Don't throw it down, don't throw in, don't help out, and the problems continue. But I wouldn't know any of that if I didn't get out of my damn house, man. Guys, get out. Ladies, leave your house. Get out. Okay? Go out into the world and see what's there. Even get up early to do it. Again, the best things that have happened to me in my life happened outside my house. Oh my God, it's beautiful. I had to leave. I've moved. My first move was Lake Charles. It took me 29 years to leave home. I was terrified. Uh-oh, I'm on a ramp. Can't get off here. I'm looking for Starbucks. Hey, in comments below, how many times have you moved? I'd love to know how many times you've moved, changed locations. And Lake Charles, 29 years old, made my first move. Hey guys, where's Starbucks? Starbucks?
Starbucks is over there.
Okay, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. 29 years old, left the house, moved to Houston. I was terrified. I know somebody think, oh man, Grant ain't scared of nothing. I was so scared to move out of Lake Charles. It was like one of the most terrifying things I've ever done in my life. Once I got there, I was like, I don't even know what I was scared about. I moved there. I'll tell you how chicken shit I was. I moved there because the reason I picked Houston was because my brother and two sisters were there. So I'm like, all right, in case I can't make one friend, I swear to God, that's what I was thinking. In case I can't make a friend, at least I have my brother and my sister. Guys, how's it going? How you doing? See, those guys had to live outside. Home is outside for those guys. I lived there for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years maybe. Then I moved to La Jolla, California. Didn't know one person there. Had the life, man. I had the life in La Jolla. I mean, it was unbelievable. Actually went there with a person, a girlfriend. Me and a girlfriend moved there. I moved there. She left about a year later, maybe 2 years later. I had the single man's life, if you know what I mean, in La Jolla. I had it made. I was loving life. And then I reached a point to where I'm like, I need to grow up now. I want a wife and I want kids. I'm on Grant Street. Look at that. I want a wife and kids. And I knew that person was not in La Jolla. I'm talking to you about moving. I'm talking to you about getting outside. I'm talking to you about leave, man. Why have you been in one spot so long? Or maybe one spot you've been in for 10 years now. You've moved once, okay? I left La Jolla and moved to Los Angeles, California. Just so you guys know, nobody goes from, how you doing, sir? Nobody moves from La Jolla and goes to LA. People go from LA to La Jolla. Have a great day, huh? And, say again? Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. The guy's on my book. Now, you see, how would I meet that customer if I hadn't left the house this morning, the hotel? How would I do that? That's crazy, dude. Got to get out. Got to get out. Went to L.A., lived in L.A. for, I don't know, 12 years. Had it made in L.A. Had this unbelievable house, Lionel Richie's I'm bragging. Don't get me wrong. I lived in Lionel Richie's house. Lionel wasn't there anymore, so it's my house now. I lived there, and all the parties were at my house. It was 3/4 of an acre flat lot in the hills above the Sunset Strip, Doheny Drive in Oriole. Freaking, I mean, spectacular place. We had our we had our 2 kids there in the house. All our friends had been there. We got married in that house. I mean, we were so connected to that house. It was unbelievable. Elena and I, when we first saw the house, it was 4 times my budget. And I'm like, we're buying that house. And you guys know how much I believe, how much I am against buying houses. We fell so in love in that house, in love with each other, in love with the house, in love with our kids there, in love with friends and parties and memories and decorations and antique furniture. We love that house. And then it reached a time where I'm like, I think we got to leave what we love. We were so comfortable there. Sure enough, 5 years ago, I got up and moved to Miami. We've been in Miami 5 years now. We travel all over the world. We're constantly moving.
I have 12 employees. I'm sure at one point you had, 4 or 5 employees. How did you go from 4 or 5 to whatever you have now?
I had 2 employees from the age of 29. No, from the age of 30 to 38 years old, I had 2 employees for 8 years. I did everything. I was the secretary, phone answer. I did payroll, stole for myself, did my taxes. I did my own taxes. I wouldn't pay anybody anything. Okay, from 30 to 38, 38 to 45, I added like 2 or 3 people. I was officing out of the guest house at my place that I lived at in Los Angeles.
It's a big guest house. Big cool house.
It was an awesome house. Lionel Richie lived in that house. It was a cool house, right? But it was small thinking, man. I was still thinking little. And if you're going to stay small, you're going to get crushed.
So what pushed you over the edge?
2008 and 2009.
So what eventually made you say, you know what, I'm just going to make it big with you?
What happened was a guy told me years before that bigger's not better, and I believed it. Because he busted out when he went big, and he says, Grant, bigger's not better, man. Stay small. And I believed that, dude, and I carried it on a long time. It's bad advice. Knowledge is power. Bad knowledge is too. So what I did was I stayed small till I was 45 years old, 5 employees. I was one of them, so 4. And when 2008 came, I'm like, this was stupid, dude. Like, I got to scale. And that was what, 12, how many years ago was that? 9 years? 7 or 8 years ago? There was no jet. There was no big office. It just shows you, man, when you change your mind and start like, hey, I'm going to scale this thing out. I'm going to go global. I'm going to have people know me. I'm going to get attention. I'm going to get my products out. I'm going to lower my prices. I'm going to bring this thing to market. I'm going to get big, bring in good people. We have, how many employees we have now, Jared? 72 at the office. We got our partners here tonight. We got another 150 in the real estate game. We're going to expand that. We'll probably pick up another 12 or 15 this month because of 2 more deals we're bringing on. And next year I'm talking about going global. So everything that's happened really good to us has happened because of the expansion.
First, get rid of the little think and the old ideas and the middle class mentality. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to save some money. I'm going to put it in the bank. I'm going to give it to the man. What's the bank do? The bank doesn't even keep your money. They hate money. Cash it's trash. Cash is garbage. It's pieces of garbage paper. It is only useful when it is used, if you're taking notes. They didn't teach you this in school. This should have been taught basic, 5th grade, 6th grade, not when in high school or college. Cash, this is a piece of paper, okay? It is a piece of paper. It's worthless. This is a piece of paper. This actually has more value. This piece of paper right here has more value than this piece of paper right here. Why? Because one person has this piece of paper. 2,000 people have this data. You understand? This piece of paper right here is useless though until it is used. Let's find out if you got the little think. How many believe success is a mind game? Dude, it starts right here. You got to fix this. You got to get rid of. Let's find out if you've been affected. Okay, I want you to look at your refrigerator at home. What's in it?
Nothing.
Water? Nothing's in it? It's empty. It's very frugal of you.
I know.
Let's buy a refrigerator. Keep it empty. Okay? Huh? Leftovers? What kind of leftovers? What do you got in there?
Week-old salad and shit.
A week-old salad. He opens the refrigerator. Maybe tomorrow. I don't want to throw it away. Why? Because his mother taught him that. Eat all your food, eat all your food, eat all your food. How many of you are brought up like this 3 times a day? Eat it all. You're like 5 or 6 years old. Eat it all. I'm full. Eat it anyway. Eat it. Okay? 3 peas left on your plate. Eat them. Eat them. I'm done, man. I'm good. There's people starving in India. Right? Dude, you're being programmed right now. Okay? If you're not going to eat them, put them in a little container. Put them in the refrigerator tomorrow. Okay? And you go in the refrigerator today, you're 30 years later, you got little Ziploc containers with 3 wrinkled peas. Stupid. Okay. You got a Coke can in there. It's got this much left in it.
No fizz.
Huh? No fizz. Fizz has been going 10 days. Nobody's going to drink it, but you don't want to throw it away. How many of you got that refrigerator? Oh, you've been affected, man. How many of you got a freezer and you got ice cream that's been in there for 3 months? That much left, that much frost. But it's Ben & Jerry's. I paid too much for that. What you doing buying Ben & Jerry's anyway? Okay. How many of you read the book, The Millionaire Next Door? Dude, that book. I read that book. That book made me probably gonna make me a billionaire. Okay? I read that book. I said, I will never be a millionaire. If I gotta buy a used Ford truck to be a millionaire, I ain't gonna be a millionaire. And if I can't drink coffee every day, I don't want to be a millionaire. That's what I got from the book. I got from the book, don't be a millionaire. They worried about money every day. Okay? So you want to write this down. Never take advice from a millionaire. Ever. They don't have any money. You guys think it's a lot of money. How many in the room, you have a net worth of over $1 million? Okay, raise your hand. Let me see your hands if you do. Okay, good. Now, you guys need to share the word here that it's no money. Is it true or right?
You're right.
This is what's going to happen. You're going to end up with $1 million. The millionaires never tell you this. You're going to end up with your first $1 million, and you're going to go into fear. Oh, what do I do now? I could lose it. See, when you're broke, you got nothing to lose, man. You're out there like, let's go, let's hustle it, let's go, man. Hey, man, what you doing? I got nothing to lose. I'm dangerous. You get $1 million, you're like, wait a minute, I got to get a lawyer, man. I need to talk to my accountant now. I need to get Merrill Lynch. I need to get some experts. I need to get an LLC, right? I need to get protected. And what you do is you start going into conservation mode. Okay? This is what I do. I always stay broke. I look at my cash accounts every day, and I try to get my cash accounts to 0 every day. I want no liquidity.
Success is a contact sport. You cannot be successful if you don't make contact. You guys interview people and then you never follow anybody up, man. Nobody follows anybody up. I spent $2 million with a lawyer that's never called me back. Same thing for the barber, same thing for the cosmetologist, same thing for the plumber, same thing for the roofer. Dude, you guys don't call people back because you think they're not interested. Do you think I'm only going to have 1 car accident? People that have 1 car accident end up in 3 of them. Okay, divorcees, guy gets a divorce. Everybody here knows somebody that's got 4 of them. Buck, he ends up with 4 different attorneys. Like, you guys don't follow up. You are a business, not a lawyer. The chiropractor has the same problem. He goes and spends all this money on equipment. He knows how to do an adjustment. He doesn't know how to build a business. The 3 things you can implement today: 1, you need to start thinking bigger. 2, you got to get your staff on a program. Everybody must be on the same page. You're trying to run a business the way you would your marriage. Problem is, people are going to quit. They're going to quit your business easier because they don't know, there's no culture. And once you have those kids, it's hard to walk out on the marriage because you can't get rid of the kids. The moment they turn 15 or 18 and they leave, you're like, the marriage is over. Same thing in a business, man. The business falls apart every day. You got to train your people daily.
As you're starting to take 10X global, you're trying to go to all of these countries, you're trying to do all of these things. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I want to meet people, man. I want to meet everybody. Yeah. I want to meet 7 billion people.
Yeah.
I want to meet people in Nigeria, and I want to meet people in Singapore, and I want to meet people in Africa. And I think these are my friends. I just don't know them yet. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to put these little anchor points all over the planet, so that I have friends. My family, my kids have friends all over the world. Having money's one thing, but if you don't have anybody to have fun with, you know, to have conversations with, to mix it up with, then you're just going to be an old lonely person.
Yeah.
See, this is crazy. Like for me to see as much as I use Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Snapchat and all that stuff, what a lot of people don't see, you guys out there, is like, I still use this. Walk over, say hi to somebody. Walk out, be seen. You still have to work the physical universe. You can't just work a virtual universe. So I could get, 100,000 views on a post, but meeting one person face to face and put him in my car to drive him to an event, to his next appointment, can be more valuable than 118,000 people seeing a post on Instagram of me and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That one deal could be worth hundreds of millions. That one drive this morning could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You need to filter down to who you listen to. I don't listen to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear them, but, he don't know what he's talking about.
Totally.
Dude, if you're not saying that, most of them has no clue.
Has no clue.
But I'm not criticizing it, by the way. I'm not criticizing. Mike Tyson yesterday telling me something. I said, that's bullshit, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, who tells the champ? That's bullshit. I said, dude, you don't know what you're talking about right now. He's like, enlighten me, man. Tell me, man. I said, all this surrender bullshit, dude, it's all bullshit. The guy that told you need to surrender, the therapist that told you that bullshit, was the confused one.
Yeah.
Okay? So totally. I've learned who not to listen to. There's a way to make a cold market warm, right? You need a team. You guys, all of you need a team. You're going to start with Primerica. The entry's cheap. It doesn't cost a lot to get involved, but you need a team. And what happens is you can only knock on so many doors. You can only make so many phone calls. So this is a mistake that I made when I was 25 years old. I wanted to keep all the money for myself. Well, there was no money, right? I was making, everybody needs to understand, Grant has not always been this guy flying in a jet. Okay, I was making $60,000 a year and trying to figure out how to make another 10. Okay, now I'll make 70. Nothing changed. Your life doesn't change. You got 10 grand left over. What do you do with it? Typically, people spend it. That didn't change anything. So I wouldn't hire anybody. I didn't have an assistant. I didn't have anybody doing the stuff I didn't know how to do. Nobody was loading up the CRM. Nobody was calling my customers. I was one little sales guy. I looked around me and there was a bunch of other sales guys and none of them had assistants. So I kept doing what these ignoramus people were doing. And then I looked at businesses. What do businesses do? Oh, they got assistants, they got help, they got support, they got phone lines, they got a business, they got an office, right? So I'm like, I got to get a company. I didn't need to go start my own business. I needed an assistant. Okay? I needed somebody else making calls. I needed somebody to collab. You need to start thinking, how could you make 10 times more contacts into that cold market? First thing you got to do is decide, as a business owner, do I want to make more money? See, if this dude with the camera, if his pockets are empty, he's walking around empty pockets, and he's got his fancy camera. This is the problem with the artist. They starve their whole life. They starve their entire life, and then you wonder why they're grumpy. There's no money. I'm eating at Little's all the time. Sooner or later, you hit the reality. He hits the reality. I got a nice camera. I love taking photos. I got to shoot Grant Cardone. He watches Lord Sugar leave on his jet and says, hey, why does he get to fly free everywhere, do whatever he wants, and I'm stuck with my camera and no money? How many believe that? Sooner or later, after days of going to work, months of going to work, years of going to work, sooner or later, if he works for this man, he's like, I resent this man. I resent this man. I resent that man, business owner. I resent Paul McFadden, the business owner. I resent you, so I know I won't work for you. In fact, what I'm going to do is screw things up for you. It's called disengagement. The only business people that will survive, the only entrepreneurs that will make it in business are those people that decide to grow their businesses. Little will fail. Not the little grocery store. Okay? If you try to stay small, you will fail. Okay? I'm telling you this from personal experience. I tried to stay small. I tried to manage the business. I tried to be the king of the business. I tried to have no employees because employees cost money. I'm like, I'm not going to have any employees. I'm not going to pay the cameraman. I'll just hire him when I do a gig. And the next time I'll hire another guy. And that'll keep my expenses low. How many are brought up like this? Keep the expenses real low where we can manage the expenses. The expenses are going to be so small that no matter how much we make, I keep it all. People should be studying the most successful companies in the world, not individuals. Don't worry about Dave or Gary or Tony or Grant. What are successful people doing? You know, one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life was tracking people that were doing better than me. So what? Like I made so many dumbass decisions because Dave did it. Or The Millionaire Next Door, that book. I don't want to be the millionaire next door. I want to know what Jeff Bezos is doing. I want to know what the boys at Google are doing, okay? Why does a guy like Mark Zuckerberg go from college dorm room to one of the richest people on the planet? That's who we should be studying. And don't listen to everybody else. Because those people have financial freedom to the point to where they can do anything they want. Like, you cannot mess up some of these people's situation. They couldn't screw it up if they wanted to. So the 10X rule it says, hey, look, you want to scale to a point to where you have the life you deserve. It's not about the money you want or the money you need. Scale your business so you can walk away from it and money never stops taking care of you and your family. You don't need to study 27 different Warrens. You study one Warren, you're probably going to be good. Most of us, because of Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, we're listening to so many different people that people do nothing. This is the new crisis of our era. People are doing nothing, not because they're lazy, because they have data that is conflicting. So if you listen to Dave says buy a house, then you listen to Grant says that's stupid, you're not going to do anything. And if you're never going to buy any real estate, hey, go ahead and buy one house. Yeah, you're going to regret it later, and you're going to be like, I wish I'd have done what Cardone said. But you got to do something. And what you don't want to do is listen to God and the devil, because then you get stuck in purgatory and you don't have any fun at all. We look for compliance and willingness before intelligence.
So you don't look for skill, you look for someone who's
I don't look for potential.
hungry.
I never look for potential.
What do you look for then? Just like, yes, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
We hire the way the Patriots do.
Right.
You know, they don't hire the best guys.
Right.
They never do. They get all the rings, though.
They do.
Okay, there's 3 people in charge on that team. There's not 33. It is a dictator. There's a dictator on that team. If you study all sports, I mean, it's pretty much like that too. You know, I mean, Portland doesn't really have that. You know, he leaves Curry alone, and he leaves, you know,
Durant
alone, and they're doing good. You know, I mean, it's a different style, right? But somebody's
those are with superstars. Yeah.
Man, it's got to be so hard.
Yeah. 'Cause everyone's got a personality. Everyone's got their opinion. And
But so let's see how long that legacy can last.
Yeah.
What are they? 3 years now?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Third year, yeah.
Let's see if they tear themselves apart. But I know that New England Patriots thing works.
Consistently.
There's an owner. He's not involved.
He
gives
trusts
it to
the coach.
This guy, Bill, runs the deal.
Yeah.
And then Bill gives the ball to Brady and says, go do the deal.
Yeah.
You know? So they hire from the lower half of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They don't overpay for anybody. And if you don't comply, you're getting off the team.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to win without a great person. I like that.
There's 6,000 people in here and another 5,000 people in another room with Pete Vargas, okay? There's 11,000 people that are interested in changing their financial condition. There's so much money on this planet, folks. You have to keep remembering. Surround yourself with people that are telling you the truth. And the truth is, there is so much money on this planet that everybody on this stream could be a billionaire. Is that real to you guys? I don't know if you're in the right vehicle. I don't know if you have the right mindset. You probably don't have the right customers yet. But Jeff Bezos thought about being a billionaire before he became a billionaire. Okay. Elon Musk was not a baller his whole life. You're the asset. You are the one that is going to climb the wealth mountain. You're going to be the one, okay? I'm talking to you right now. You are going to be the one, Eduardo, Tanya, Tracy, Rana, Melissa, Sigal, Rudolph. You're the one that's going to climb this thing. You're the one that's going to go from the lower middle class to the middle class to the upper class to the wealthy. Who here has made a decision to get to the top of the pinnacle? Here's the deal about the decision, folks. You need to make the decision and then keep remaking the decision. You got Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Jay-Z, and Elon Musk. They all know each other. They've all touched each other. They all hang with each other, okay? Collaborate. Collaborate with power. Who do you want to hang with? Quit taking what this planet gives you. Quit taking your neighborhood. Okay? I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I hated Lake Charles. I got to tell you, I mean, I'm grateful I grew up there. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the things I learned. But look, once you go see the rest of the planet, you're like, why am I living here? Why is this all there is? Go to Singapore, Dubai, Sydney, Australia. Go to London, go to Miami, go to LA. Find out where you want to live. Where are the opportunities? Where can you bust out and make it? What would you do? If you're a mountain climber, you're going to probably go visit Mount Everest at some point. Go where you need to go to get where you need to get. The rule of 5. Who do you need to hang out with? Collaborate with power, and then you want to write this down. Pay to play. I had been told this most of my life. I did not trust it. I was skeptical. The easiest way to collaborate with power is to buy a seat at the table. These guys over here, I don't know if you guys can pan over here. Can they see these guys? Look at these guys. Look at these guys. These guys are spending 3 days with me. I'll never forget. I'll never forget, these guys paid $12,000 each to sit in that chair. I look over there, I'm like, man, they're crazy. People crazy. 3 days I got to look at their ugly faces. Okay? The reality is, I don't know if they're crazy or not. No, I know this, to get to the top of that pyramid, folks, how many believe this? You're going to have to do some crazy shit. To stay where you are, you will have to do some crazy shit. Listen to me. To get to the top, you will have to do something crazy. To stay where you are, you will be forced to do something crazy.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the Billionaire Mindset question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Also, if you've already got your Billionaire Mindset Companion PDF calendar, get ready for another amazing video tomorrow. Or if you don't have it yet, you can get it for free in the first line of the description below. And if you're enjoying this Billionaire Mindset series, give me a hashtag Billionaire Mindset in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Raising your game starts with raising your standards. Raising your standards starts with raising your environment. And raising your environment starts with a decision to make it so. I just finished my 3-day workshop here in Toronto where I teach people how to become thought leaders and transform them so they can take the ideas that they have here in their head and blow it out to the world, start building a business, making money, having an impact. And I was super fortunate to have 2 people there at the workshop who I've known for a decade plus. Friends of mine who I've known for a long time. Typically it's people who fly in from around the world, but I was really grateful to have these 2 people here. And it was a really interesting conversation that came out of it. From both of them, and then that led to my wife and other people who I've known, said, over the last 2 years, Evan, you've really turned it up a notch. You seem to have accessed a different level. And I wanna know how I can access that too. I know I felt it too. I mean, it's great hearing it from these people who've known me, but I know I felt it too. And maybe you guys have felt it too. If you watch back my videos that are 2, 3, 5 years old, you've seen a shift. I'm still talking about believe. A lot of the messaging is exactly the same, but the confidence, the standards, the expectations have gone up in the videos. I've gotten better. I care more. Now, how did that happen? I'm not some magical unicorn creature. You can do it too. It happened because I chose to continue to surround myself with excellence. With the videos, I make my videos for me. The top 10s, the mentor me's, this series, like I make it for me because I want to be around excellence every day. And here's what happens when you're around people who are pushing the limits and doing amazing things every day. Slowly it seeps into you. It doesn't happen on a daily basis, but it's a cumulative effect. Where if you're around Steve Jobs and A.P. Giannini and well, my parents, and Howard Schultz and Kanye West, if you're around them every day, if they're talking in your ear every day, if you're watching the top 10s and mentor me's every day, you're around it, slowly it's gonna seep into you. The more you're around success, the more that success mindset will seep into you. It just will. And what that does is change your perspective and gives you more confidence and gives you more courage. And that made me step up. That made me go and do things that otherwise I would have been scared to do. That made me go and do this crazy tour of 90 days, 23 cities, when I broke my neck and then kept going on the tour. All of these things that seemed impossible to me at the time, that then I said, I'm gonna do it. The thing that gave me the strength and courage to do it is all of the content that I've been consuming. It's the people I've surrounded myself with who've had success that make me want to be more successful myself. And then when you go through these things, when you go through the difficult journey, when you get faced with something you've never faced before, you come out a different person. You may not come out like you thought you would, but there's no going back. When you do something difficult, went and did that tour, 90 days, right, a quarter of the year, when I broke my neck and kept going, it changed me for the better. And there's no going back to the person I was before. And it's the same thing for you. If you are around success on a daily basis, even if only for 10 minutes a day, if you're on success on a daily basis, it will start to seep into you. You'll start to see the world a different way. You'll start to understand things in a way that you didn't understand before. You'll start to want more out of life. You'll start to not want to settle for what you have in front of you right now. Like, this is not enough. I want more. I got to get better. And then you'll see opportunities that you didn't see before. but it'll be scary. It'll be different. It'll be something that you haven't tackled before. It'll be something that the old version of you would be too afraid to go off and do. But for some reason, this new version of you is willing to at least try. And through the trial, through the effort, through that journey, you come out a totally different person. You've grown. You have new skill sets. You're stronger. And that allows you to go off and tackle another one, and another one, and another one. And there's no going back. You can't. There's no going back in the mindset. There's no going back in the skill set. There's no going back to that lifestyle. You're an evolved human now. And that's what I want for you. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process to create that constant push in your environment. Step number 1 is your physical environment, your physical actual environment. So think about your office. Think about where you're working. Think about what's on the background of your phone. Think about what's on the background of your desktop. Think about what's in your room when you wake up. The physical environment matters. Why? Because I set this stuff up once, right? One time I had to go and I got to think about who do I want on my wall and finding a picture and then getting that printed and putting it up. That's a one-time thing. It takes some effort, but it's a one-time thing. What goes on the back of my phone? It's a one-time decision. But then every day it's a reminder, it's a trigger, right? It's a play bigger trigger. That's what I call it. These pictures are a play bigger trigger for me. This is a play bigger trigger for me. So that you're not even thinking about it. And I walk into my office and bam, I got these people looking at me in the face. Now, these people may not mean anything to you. Maybe you hate some of these people on the wall. Awesome. Do it for you. Whether it's a quote, a picture, a saying, nature, whatever it is, design your physical environment with intention that makes you feel bold, powerful, and confident. You set it up once and you get to get that feeling every single day. Step 2 is think about the people you're surrounded by. And these can be physical people in your life. It could be the people that you're hanging with, your friends, your family, your coworkers. The sign of a dead-end job is having a boss that doesn't support you. Like going to work and having a boss that doesn't support you is the worst. It's the worst feeling of all time. You don't want to be around people who make you feel less than. And so try to spend less time with the people who make you feel less than. And then think about the people who you love. Think about the people who make you feel energized and pumped up and bold and confident. And I like to collect good people. If I find someone I like, I'll just say, I like you. I want to spend more time with you. It feels super awkward. And I tell them I like to collect good people. And that leads somewhere. Whether that's a monthly coffee, whether that's a regular phone call or hangout or workshop, like that leads places. And so adopt that mindset of want to eliminate the negative people in my life, or at least limit exposure. And the people who make me feel good, I want to bring them more into my life. I want to find more people who are like that. And the ones who I have, I want to spend more time with, right? That's what you should want to do. Then there's also the virtual ones. And that's where my series comes in, right? The top 10 series, the Mentor Me series, the 254 series. I have 254s around a whole bunch of different topics, around building confidence, around Black excellence, around women entrepreneurship, the Girl Boss series, around self-love, around writer's wisdom, and we're building more. I want to have 1,000 of these so that whatever it is that you want to build more of in your life, here it is, a message every single morning, an unlisted free video gets delivered to your email inbox. That's between 1 and 5 minutes typically. So if you want to be a successful woman entrepreneur, and every morning you get an email with a video of a successful woman entrepreneur sharing her wisdom, knowledge, and advice, if you watch that for 254 days, you will become a different person. You just will. You just have to sit there and watch the message and absorb it. And you will come out a different person. Maybe not on a daily basis, but with time. You watch the videos every day for weeks and then months, you will come out a different person. And so whether it's my videos or something else, whether you need to read part of a book every day, listen to an audiobook, get on podcasts, whatever it is that makes you feel bold, confident, powerful, alive, makes you feel like you want to go off and do something today. Whatever that is, don't let it happen to you by accident. Plan for it. Make it a part of your daily morning routine. It'll change your life. And step number 3 is create a powerful morning routine. It's important. Here's what I do. I got the 5 S's. Here's how I go on a regular basis. Number 1 is sing. I wake up and I'm tired and I got stuff in my eyes and lines in my face. I'm tired. And so step number 1 is I sing. I put on music that makes me sing. You all have music that makes you want to sing. The fastest way to change your state, to change your emotion, to change your confidence is to put on music. Don't put on music that makes you feel more of how you already are if you feel like you're tired. If you feel down and sad and depressed and tired, don't put on really slow, downing. I can't even think about it. Don't put on that music. Put on the music that you want to feel. So I put on energetic, songs that come on and I want to dance and I want to sing to. That's how you should start your day, at least for me. I want to start my day with singing. Step 2 is sun. So sun is I want to get outside. So we have 2 dogs, and so luckily they make us go outside every day. But there's just something, at least for me, of being outside, being in nature, not walking out into the forest for 2 hours, just taking a quick walk around the neighborhood with the dogs, with my wife. It's our chance to connect. There's no electronics. We don't look at our phone yet. It's just a chance to be with each other, enjoy the dogs. We've just had this singing session and take some sun in. I think if you're around sun and nature, it'll just lift your mood, and it's a great way to start your day. The third S I call soar. That's figuring out the thing that makes you soar as a human and doing that in the morning. So for me, I think about somebody that I helped yesterday. I need to be reminded that the work that I do is important, that what I do matters. And so I think about someone I helped yesterday, and then I record a message on Instagram, public video, 15 seconds. And that sets me for the day. Because so much of what I do is just here in my office talking to a camera. Hi guys, that's what I do, right? This message might be reaching so many people, but all I'm doing is talking into a camera. And so it can be hard when you're working alone in an office by yourself to think about the impact that the work that you do has. And so that's what I need to remember. Every day I impact people, and not thinking about my goals to hit 1 billion entrepreneurs, but just I helped an individual yesterday. Yesterday, I helped one person. That meant something to me. And how did I help them? Whatever that message was, I'm now going to share it with the world. That sets me up for the day. Whatever it is that makes you want to soar, you put that into your morning routine. Number 4 is sweat. So doing something every morning for exercise. I'm slowly getting back into it because of my neck injury. I haven't been able to be as consistent as that. So I'm still doing physio. See, that hurts. But I'm super grateful to not be in my cast and not have to have spinal surgery, which I had a 50% chance of possibly having. So super grateful for that, but I'm easing back into it. But if you can get into the morning and do something that makes you sweat, it's amazing. And the 5th S for me is scare. So you do something that makes you scared. And so for me, it's having a cold shower. So after you sweat, you got to shower. So start off hot and then slowly get the cold. And by the end of it, it's freezing. And that scares me. And so if you do something that scares you every day, I think you come out stronger. So that's my morning routine. I do the 5 S's, right? So sing, sun, soar, sweat, and scare. Go through that 5-step process. It helps me, but whatever it is that helps you, don't wake up like an accident. Don't wake up tomorrow and just check your phone and respond to everybody else's emergencies around you. Intention. Start your day with intention every single day. It'll make a huge difference. Your environment has been perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. The people you hang with, the videos you watch, the media you consume, all of it are perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are right now today. If you want to raise your standards, it starts by raising your environment first. So a friend of mine and friend of the channel, Mark Drager from Fanta, gave me a really warm message yesterday, and he thanked me for helping start the process for him to turn from being a pessimist to an optimist, from being somebody who was always worried and negative to somebody who's having more energy, who's seeing the light, who's becoming more optimistic, who still has a road to go, but is so far further along than where he was before. And he wrote to me to say, thank you for starting me down this path. He said there was one conversation in particular that had special meaning to him, where I told him that I just really believed in him, that I saw a lot of the people around him, I saw a lot of his peers, and I just thought that he had so much more potential than where he was. And I think maybe for the first time he had an extra bolt of belief pushed into him, which is what I do, which is what I'm great at, which is what I enjoy doing. But fast forward to now, 6 months, 8 months later, he's made major gains in his life. He's brought on new team members. He's now consuming other content that is positive and optimistic. He's changing his business around. He's investing more in himself. He's happier. He's lost a lot of weight. He's growing. He's wanting to strengthen his relationships. He's just seen a big shift in his life by trying to move more into optimism instead of pessimism. And so it started with my conversation with him. He then promoted somebody within his organization to become COO, whose name was Louis, and he's also a massive force for good and positivity. He started consuming Gary's content, which is positivity. He started consuming Tom Bilyeu's content, which is positivity. He started now injecting all these people and resources into his life to make him feel more positive, more optimistic, more happy, give him more energy so that he has that to go take on his goals and the challenges out in front of him. And slowly move that needle from being a pessimist to an optimist. I don't think people are pessimists, to be honest. I think everybody is born an optimist. I don't think people are born negative. You know, I think that's trained into you. I think you're a pessimist and negative because of the circumstances you had and what was planted in your brain by the people around you. I think people are good. I think humans are just good. I think if we weren't good, we wouldn't be here anymore. 99.99999% of people are good. Right? Some people have a little bit of a miswiring up there and it causes them to enjoy killing people. But for the most part, we're good. I also believe that people are built to serve. I believe that you get happiness from helping others, by being of service to others. That's what actually makes you happy. There aren't very many happy moments in your life that didn't involve somebody else. You were helping, you were serving. They've shown the effect on your brain of serving and helping somebody is the same as food and sex. We're literally hardwired to help others and to serve. And so if you believe like I believe that humans are good and humans are built to serve, then what would cause somebody to be pessimistic and negative? How sad of an upbringing does that person have to have had? The programming that was installed inside them by other people who just were negative and down on their life, but weren't inherently bad people. The people who stole from my car in LA, the guy who cut me off in traffic yesterday, I don't think they're bad people. I still think they're good people who are built to serve. Just circumstances and conditioning have led them down a negative path. And so the good news is you can get out of it, just like my friend Mark has, who's someone who was sworn to say, I'm a pessimist, right? I just default to negativity, to now seeing the shift by changing the people he's surrounding himself with, by altering his environment, by consuming content that is more positive. He's already seen a noticeable shift over the past X number of months, and that's going to continue to grow. That could be you too. There's a 3-step process for you to follow, and I'm going to give it to you right now. Step number 1 is collect good people. You need to be in the good people collecting business. I had that conversation with Mark that had a lasting impact on him because I love Mark, because in him I see just such a good person, just so much potential. And I mean, I see that in everybody, a lot of potential, but you know, I want to collect good people. I want good people around me. I want to have people around me in my life who are in my business or just associates or just people that I know that are good people, that give me energy, that lift me up, that I'm excited to be around. Right? There are some people that when you're around, you just have more energy and vibrancy. Collect them, find ways to work with them, find ways to stay attached to them. I even make it awkward. There's a lot of people who I'll meet if I meet somebody at a conference or at an event or something that's happening in my city or in another city. If I just really like their energy, I say, I really like you. I really like you. I want to find a way to do more with you. That's awkward. That's hard to say. That's weird. That's strange. But chances are they're feeling the same thing about you, that they don't have as many great people as they wish they had in their life as well. And so think about the people who give you energy, that are just good people, that you wish you could spend more time with them, and tell them that, as awkward as that seems, and then find ways to stay around them more, because you want to have those positive people in your life. Step number 2 is 254s. I've created a program called 254s. There's a link in this video, it's in the description below, where every day for 254 days, I send you a video around a certain topic. In this case, it's around building unstoppable confidence. If you watch a video for 254 days, you will become more confident. It'll happen. Science tells us that it takes between 18 and 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. If you're on a diet for 1 week, it's likely not to stick. It takes at least 18 days. The average is 66 days, so most people don't spend enough time doing the thing before they quit and give up. But the worst case scenario, the slowest human learner of all time, takes up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. And so I made the 254 program for you guys, that if you want to have more confidence, or we have a series for women entrepreneurs, or a series for Black excellence, and a series for writers, right? If you're a writer, every day for 254 days, you're going to get a free video emailed to you of a writer who's had success. Now, if you're a stay-at-home writer, you're trying to get your first book off the ground, you may not have a lot of people around you supporting you, believing in you, telling you to go for it, But then here's this email every day with a new video from somebody who's made it, giving you an inspirational message that's 30 seconds to 5 minutes long. Right? My goal ultimately is to have 1,000 of these. I want to have 1,000 254s because you may not care about the Writer's Wisdom program if you're not a writer. You may care about the Confidence one. If you want, you can go to the description and find the link to get on. But if not, then make your own. Like, make your own. Even this channel spreads belief every day. If you want to have more belief in your life, watch these videos. That's the intent. It spreads belief. If you feel a little bit more belief in yourself, that you are a genius, that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, if this video helps spark that, then watch more. And if it's not me, then it's somebody else. Go watch Gary's content, go watch Tony's content, go watch Mel's content, whoever it is. Create your own 254 program where every day for 254 days at least, ultimately becomes a lifetime thing. You're surrounding yourself with resources that feeds the positivity in your mind, that hope, that things are possible, that you don't need to stay where you are right now, that you can end up in a better place if you put in the work. But if you don't believe that it's possible, you won't chase it down. So you need to create your own 254 program. And then number 3 is have play bigger triggers. Play bigger triggers are things in your environment that remind you to step up. It could be a shirt that you wear, right? And that shirt that you put on reminds you to play a bigger game. It could be your physical environment, putting up posters or banners in your office, wherever you're working, or in your car as a reminder that you need to step up. It could be your screen time, right? What's on your cell phone background, what's on your desktop background, that when you look at every day reminds you. It's triggers in your environment to step up and play a bigger game. Your environment is keeping you where you are, so you need to change your environment. It doesn't mean that you can afford necessarily to move out and go buy some penthouse in New York City that looks over Central Park, right? That may not happen, but you can have a poster of it as a reminder that you're building a better future, that this is not where you're gonna be. This place that you're in right now is not gonna be where you're gonna be in a year, because you're making big growth, you're making big gains. And so you want to set up triggers in your environment that remind you constantly. Why it's beautiful is you set it up once. You set up your cell phone background once, and what it does is reminds you every time you look at your phone. How many times are you looking at your phone? Would you like an inspirational message to remind you to play bigger? Something emotional? Has to mean something to you. Don't copy what I have. These are my parents. It means something to me to have them on the wall. My parents on your wall won't mean very much, probably, right? It's a little weird. So what are the things? What is your environment? What is your home office? What's in your car? What's in your bedroom? What's on the cell phone and your computer background? What is it? What are the things that when you see it just makes you think, that's right? And it snaps you out of mediocrity. It snaps you out of the way you are, because you want to just stay where you are. Again, it's been perfectly designed to keep you where you are. It's easy to stay where you are. And then bam, something shows up. So you can trick yourself. You can force yourself to play a bigger game if you set up the right play bigger triggers for yourself.
This is why I keep going with my YouTube channel. This is the reason why I keep going with my YouTube channel, because yes, your spouse is important, and yes, your friends are important, and the people that you hang out with are super, super, super important. And all the other people that you hang out with by reading books and consuming content, watching videos, all of that makes an impact too. The more that you spend hanging around people and ideas and wisdom that bring you up, the more you're going to rise up. And the more you're around people who are complaining and negative and pulling you down, guess what happens? The more you're gonna be pulled down. And one of the big reasons for me in creating this channel was I wanted to be around successful entrepreneurs. I wanted to be around people who would push me to go off and do more. Because in my life, I'm super fortunate to have a very understanding wife, a very supportive family, friends who encourage me and always support the things that I'm doing. But I don't have people who are pushing me to do better. I don't have people who say, you know what you're doing is great, but you should be out here. Like, you could be making these adjustments and playing a bigger game. You can have a bigger impact. And so I needed more of that in my life. And so my solution to finding it was the videos, I want to hang around Elon Musk, and I want to hang around Steve Jobs, and I want to hang around Warren Buffett. I want to hang around these people who are thinking on a bigger scale, because the more you do that, the more you ingest this content, the more you're gonna think like them, the more you're gonna act like them, the more you're gonna take these pieces to not only just be like them, but to be the best version of you. I think what most people do is we try to escape a life that we don't like. We watch Big Brother on TV. We watch these reality shows. We like laughing at somebody else's faults and mistakes. We're constantly, looking at Facebook and Instagram and looking at the negativity of people, hating each other. We like watching fail videos. We like
escaping our life. There's something about our lives that we don't like, and so we want to escape it. Why do people want to go on vacations all the time? Well, it's not because they actually want to go there. It's more they want to escape a life that they don't like. And there's nothing wrong with traveling. It's a great time to get experiences, meet new people, think outside the box. But it shouldn't just be an escape from a life that you don't like. And that's where most people spend their time. Use that time instead to do the uncomfortable thing, to grow, to build muscle, right? To challenge yourself, to look towards a life that you want to live by surrounding yourself with the people who push you to think differently, to do the uncomfortable things, to grow, to go outside your comfort zone, right? To do that scary thing that you want to do that you think is too bold, too bad, too big. Who am I to go off and do that? You know, the more you spend time around these successful people, the bolder you're going to be, the more confidence you're going to have, and the bigger impact you're going to be able to go out and create. And so it's one of the foundational reasons why I still do these YouTube videos, why I love it so much, why I'm still invested so much into the regular creation of this content, because it's awesome that it helps you. It helps me. Like, I need it. I need the push. I need Elon Musk kicking my butt. I need to watch that stuff and realize, you know what, I'm still playing small. I'm working harder than most of the people that I know, and I need to be doing more. You know, I need to be thinking on a bigger scale. I need to have greater ambitions, because I believe if you have the ability, then you have the responsibility. If you can, then you must. And I know that I can. And I'm not doing enough. And I know that you can. And you're not doing enough either. And so the people that you surround yourself with are really important. Yes, the people in your life. Yes, your spouse is super important. Yes, the friends that you choose to surround yourself with. Some people, you may not have an option. You know, your family may not be supportive. You can limit exposure, but you may not have an option. They're still your family. You haven't chosen them. But the rest of your time, like, you're not spending 24/7 with your family. The rest of the time, you get to choose. And are you choosing to just escape a life that you don't like and watching content that numbs your mind? Or are you choosing to move in a forward direction, make your life better?
The difference in people is their standards. The world is full of people who started with less than what you already have right now, and they're winning. And too many people are out there complaining. Complaining that you don't have the money, that you don't have the time, that you don't have the experience, that you don't have the personality for it. All legitimate, logical reasons. But others have done it with those very same circumstances as you, with worse circumstances than you. The difference is they have a higher standard for themselves. And today, we're gonna raise yours. One of the things I'm most proud about for myself, why do I love Evan Carmichael, is because when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, especially when it gets hard. Like, it doesn't count until it gets hard. And I'm doing it not just for other people. I'm doing it not just because I promised you that I would show up. I'm doing it for myself because I said I was gonna do something, and then I go off and do it. This is the foundation of self-esteem, of self-confidence, of self-love, doing it when you say you're gonna do it. And so on Monday, I usually have a 2-hour walking meeting with Alex. Alex helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. He comes over. Monday's my mentoring day, and we'll usually go for a 2-hour walk around the city. And it's starting to get cold. You know, it's winter time here. It's getting cold, and so we bundle up and we go for our 2-hour walk while we talk and while we meet. I'm trying to do walking meetings more, just for my own health and just for the challenge of it, because it's easy to start something like that in the spring or in the summer. It's really hard to do it when it's in the winter and you live in Toronto, Canada, and it's snowing and cold, right? So this Monday, Alex was sick. He still came in, he was sick, he was running a bit of a fever, not crazy sick, but just sick. And Nina, my wife, super caring, said, hey, maybe you shouldn't go for a walk outside. And my heart's just like, come on, no, we have to. I said I was gonna do it, right? I have to, for myself, I have to go on the walk. Like, I'll go on the walk and leave Alex at my place and and just film the meeting with him. But we came up with a different solution, which was, I live in a condo, we have a gym in my condo, and we went down to the condo gym and I walked on the treadmill while he stood or sat next to me for 2 hours. Because I said that I was gonna do it. How important is that 1-2 hour walk? Not much, right? In itself, not much. Am I gonna get healthy from doing that one walk? No. Am I gonna lose weight by doing that one walk? No. I'm gonna have so much more mental clarity by doing that one walk? Of course not. But it's the whole game, because you're teaching yourself
that you follow through. You're teaching yourself that you have high standards. You're teaching yourself that when you say you're going to do something, you follow through, because life is coming for you with a ton of roadblocks. Life is going to throw tons of curveballs at you. If you can only do the thing that you said you were going to do when it's easy and the path is perfectly clear, you're never going to do it. This is why people don't stay consistent, because as soon as life gets hard, you let yourself off the hook. You allow your standards to drop, to say, oh, it's okay. Yeah, of course I can't go for a walk because Alex is sick. Right? And there are definitely legitimate times when you should let yourself off the hook. If I was dying in bed with a fever and I couldn't get out of bed, I wouldn't go for the walk. That makes sense. Don't be stupid. There's times when you need to be gentle on yourself. But more often than not, we are too gentle on ourselves when we shouldn't be. I could have done the walk, and we did it. We did it in the gym downstairs, and Alex stood next to me and sat next to me and didn't have to go outside and get the cold on him, and I still got my walk in, right? And I feel great about it. Because I did it when it was hard, because here's this obstacle that life's throwing at me. Here's an easy way when everybody around me is saying, you don't have to go off and do it. And a little tiny voice inside my own head saying, okay, well, here's a chance. You don't have to do it. Like, no, be quiet, voice. I'm doing it. We're finding a solution. Let's go. And the solution is going to walk on the treadmill downstairs. If you want to sign up for the entire Billionaire Mindset series for free and get the companion bonus PDF calendar, check the link right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.